Good evening, everyone. Hope everybody's enjoying their 2022. I know tonight I'm going to kick things off with a bang. I'm going to be that unpopular guy. There's a disclaimer in my description. I suggest you read it. I'll give you a few moments. Tonight's podcast definitely isn't for those that don't like to hear truthful things, that don't like to hear people talk about reality versus illusion. People just don't like the cold hard facts. If you don't like those things, you're not ready to hear it, do not tune in. I'm in one of those moods, so let's just get this party started. 2022, and we're already talking about purges. You know what? I don't give a fuck. Really don't. I see these big names. Oh, they censored Joe Rogan. Well, yeah, probably did. Why? Well, I guess the first thing in reality we need to get through our thick heads that all these social media platforms, they're a corporation. We are the commodity. So if our commodity, being a commodity, if our opinions and views hurt their revenue, well, guess what? They have the right to remove our content or remove us. Clearly stated in the terms of service. I don't know why everybody gets this concept of entitlement. But we live in the United States. Right? You're damn right we live in the United States and we have freedom of speech. But guess what? Thanks to Supreme Court's rulings in certain matters, and the biggest one that Justice Scalia spoke heavily against before his untimely demise, was what happens when you give corporations the power to dump as much money into politics as they want during campaign seasons. They can donate as much money as they want to a campaign fund where you, the everyday citizen, I think it's like, depending on which certain states, no more than $2 to $3 grand. It gave, and he vehemently talked about this very case scenario, that they would use and abuse these powers, that they would become uncontrollable. And they are. But it's just like any private run business. They have the right to serve who they want. Do I agree with it? No. I really don't agree with it on the precedent that some of these social media platforms can uphold and honor other countries' laws and statutes and values, except for the United States. You know, I see people, well, I'm going over to get her, or Gab, come over here. Gab, fuck you. Actions speak louder than words, and you damned yourself twice. I don't give you a third time. Why? Because of your rhetoric. Every newsletter I get from you is the same rhetoric. If I have a different opinion and view that goes against Gab's Christian-based values, I would be suspended and removed. My content would be removed. I would be banned. If I was any other religion that is not a Christian religion, and I spoke about that, I would be banned. So, Gab, you are not a freedom of speech platform. I'm tired of the hypocrisy. I'm tired of all these betas, these people that want to get rich quick schemes, that want to blow up your private DMs, thinking, oh, there's a sucker born every day. I ain't your sucker, but I'll be your fucking huckleberry. 2022 is going to be a great year because I'm not holding back. So yes, I'll probably end up blowing this channel up before we get through halfway into this year. Guess what? Don't care. Somebody's got to have a backbone. Tired of seeing all the spineless curs running, can't take a stand. And half of them are hypocrites in themselves because they're only going to these other platforms because they're making money. You're no better than the rich, greedy politicians who keep taking our freedoms because they gotten greedy. Sorry, that's reality. Quit living in your illusion. Or trying to make illusions to justify your reasoning. You're a bunch of cowards when you run. Even with myself, 5 years still standing, no community guidelines, no strikes, haven't had a video removed. Some of that could be because of my name. Oh, wait, that'd be egotistical and an illusion. The facts are, we've pointed out the facts, document them. I'm a small channel. I don't advertise. I found a way in and around the algorithms. I understand them. I understand the AI. I'm not scared to do research in scary territory because they tell you that's evil. I'm not scared to question things. I'm not scared to speak my mind. But I always know that at any moment, that day will come. But yet, I will stand up and say, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Gab, Minds, all these social media platforms, they have a right to suspend you and ban you. You are there as their guests. They are privately ran. They have a right to run their private companies as they see fit. That's just the harsh realities. No, I don't agree with it, but what can you do about it? Bitch, complain. That's about it. Try to find people that's actually going to do their jobs in Congress. But when you got a bunch of betas floating around that are so brainwashed that they can only vote one way, oh, we need a red wave. So you're just going to keep putting the same people in office with the same ideologies and same mindsets. Why not put, like New York actually did, voters? Maybe it's just because they just got tired of seeing the same names and just seeing that one that nobody knew, and they wrote it in. Okay, cool. But I tell you what, they proved we can get an everyday person, a truck driver that wasn't a rich millionaire, wasn't rich, into office. We seen it all last year, people standing up to the school boards. We're finally starting to see people take a stand. But a few people get nuked, and we're back to running again. Don't you ever get tired of running? Don't you ever get tired of... I know you get tired of it because I've seen it throughout the COVID with the vaccines. Everybody's tired of being lied to. If you can get tired of that, you sure as hell can get tired of being running from platform to platform. Make them fucking suspend your IP address. Hey, I did it. My IP address got suspended from Wikipedia because I questioned things. And I caught them and got the emails of exactly how Wikipedia was ran. And I exposed it to where they permanently suspended my IP address. Can't go on there. And the few things that I do still have published there. Correct them, change them. Nope, it's all at the whims of somebody else now. Ruined the work that I did. Nothing I can do about it either. I know I was amazed at how many people, when I was doing that, sent me information in. You know, I'm the type of person, once I get going, I don't stop. What happened to that mentality of the United States? What happened to that true patriotism? When we know something's wrong, we're going to defend it and not stop. I'm tired of hearing people, I'm a constitutionalist. But as soon as something you don't agree with, you're quick to say, well, that person doesn't have the right to say that. That person should be removed. You want to know what I think's fucked up? I don't need to go to a porn site to see porn. I can go to Twitter. But I have to be careful what I say on Twitter, or else I'll get banned because of my views and opinions. But I can watch all the free porn I want on Twitter. How immoral is that? But that is protected under our Constitution too. Whether you agree with it or disagree with it, I don't think it's all that too healthy for you. But the Supreme Court has made rulings. Blame Penthouse and Flint for that, but they have that right. But I just think it's messed up when that right is more protected than our freedom of speech. And even Facebook has their little adult niches. Well, hard to believe, but yeah, they're a little bit stricter. On Twitter, it's just porn. But yeah, I can't have my opinions and my views. Sometimes I'll just post shit to get something started, to get a conversation going, a debate. Of course, most of my followers are smart enough to know not to bite, but hey, you always get that guy. Don't be that guy, but please do. It's interesting and entertaining, and it's thought-provoking. In the end, I'm not going to be mad at you, unless you take it too far. Then I'll just simply end it. But no, I'm tired of all this. I'm tired of us just constantly repeating history, repeating the atrocities. I'm tired of the ignorance. Ignorance is not bliss, guys. It is not. It's stupidity. It really is. I can't. When people ask me, I will admit I have a TikTok account, mainly just so I can share links. There's some good shit on there. There's some funny shit on there. But as far as me being able to ever do any type of podcast or live streaming from there, oh hell no, I'd be banned in a heartbeat. They're much stricter than YouTube and all these other places when it comes to certain content, certain topics. I would get knocked down quicker than I ever would here. So common sense tells me not the place to be doing your videos. Oh man, it burns me. I hear people talk about, the purge, they're going to purge. They do it all the time. And they have that right. I'm sorry, guys, but they do. Don't go looking to Congress because we've seen how that works. That's just a 3-ring circus every time they call him in there. We'll get Jim Jordan up there and a couple of the other ones bashing the hell out of him, calling them out. But that's it. All words, no action. That's all it ever is. No one has ever brought legislation to rein these people in. And they never will. Why? Because they spend billions and billions of dollars on everyone's campaign. They buy their protection. Both sides. Not just one. They do it to all sides. They spread it around equally. And that should never be allowed. That is lobbying. That's actually far worse. That is actually bribing an official. But they don't call it that because they're a corporation. So therefore, they don't bribe, they lobby. We don't give them money. We give their campaigns money. Spade's a spade. No matter how you look at it, a spade's a spade. You are bribing a political and an elected official. But hey, our Supreme Court kind of nipped that in the bud too. With one ruling. That's all it ever takes is one ruling. And law is up for interpretation, especially when you leave it vague enough. Are things going to get any better? Hell no, they're not. It's getting close to Congress and election time. Oh no, things are going to ramp up quick. Do I agree with Joe Rogan getting his videos removed? No. But, I mean, just to go to show you, even he's not untouchable. Truthfully, the man makes more than enough money and has more than enough money. He could create his own YouTube. But he doesn't. You see, we find ourselves in that catch-22. We need a site to where we can upload our videos to or do live streams from and have an archive. Well, I can do my videos right from my computer and upload them on archive.org. I'm completely bypassing YouTube, DLive, and all of them. I could throw a little money into my WordPress site, but I know not to because I'd be wasting my money because WordPress in the past has proven they will go after people and tell them to remove their content. So why waste money? Just keep it as a free thing and they ignore you. Yeah, I don't have all the bells and whistles I could have, all the neat little things every time I do a live podcast or upload a video, it automatically gets transferred over there. I don't have to do anything. Well, it'd be so much easier. But no. The minute I do that will be the minute one of their advertisers doesn't approve of something I say, or I offend somebody that works for them, and there goes all that hard work and money down the drain. Been there, done that. I actually took it farther than most of you will ever take it, to where I was building my own platform and sites, to where it could be actually shared amongst you guys. Then I got read the Riot Act by 7 lawyers in a boardroom meeting, which I didn't really care to be at because really had nothing to do with me. Other than, yeah, my name is partial is a partial shareholder in the name. That was a good reality check for me. But I learned so much. To me, all that learning and knowledge I gained from that was far worth any amount of money I could ever make. Even sitting in that 9.5-hour boardroom conference and hearing each of those lawyers read me the Riot Act of how things go. What is actual reality and how much of an illusionary world our idea was. It would only last for so long before we would have had to answer for what we wanted to do, because no government in any country would allow it. They would bankrupt you if they couldn't get you to comply. They would bankrupt you through the courts. And it would take, they'd drag it out for years. Lovely legal system we have, right? Now our legal system is a mockery. Because it's just as corrupt as our Congress, as our state officials, as, well, pretty much any place you go. You have those that, for some odd reason, think they're better than you. We see it every day. I mean, I can go through all my Twitter feeds. There's always somebody that thinks they're better than the person, better than everybody else. They think their shit don't stink. I don't know. It stinks just as bad as everybody else's. The only worst part of it is you're believing the illusions that you have been fed and that you spew. You know, too many of you have gotten so used to, oh, they're doing this, I'm just going to go over here, then I'm going to go over here. Then a few months, a couple years down the road, same thing's happening over there where you just ran to. Proving everybody's point, then you run to the next spot, or you come back to Twitter, go back to Facebook. Now, I see an interesting comment today. It was interesting because I had to think about it. Because we are a commodity. We are their revenue. You know, and they made the comment sort of that, you know, in the end, the only one they're hurting is themselves. True, but not necessarily. Yes, they're going to hurt their little shareholders and stuff. They've already made their millions. We forget about that. They made their millions, their billions. I can give you the best example. The original owners of MySpace. This is from his own words. He's seen the writing on the wall, and he had already made his millions, and by selling it, he made more than enough to be content and happy for the rest of his life. So he sold it before he had to deal with everything that's happening now. And MySpace, for up until a couple of years ago, was up for sale still. Somebody finally bought it. I don't know whatever happened to it, but he even said, "You seen the writing on the wall clear back then." And let's be truthful. All these platforms, they've made their millions. At least the big ones. I mean, Facebook is pretty much as we know it, is eventually going to be no more. It's going to be the metaverse. So, even Facebook's got the writing on the wall, and they're putting it out there for you. Get ready. Because this, as you know it, will be no more. And one day, Twitter will be the same way. Gab will be the same way. All these platforms, they come and go. Something new will come up, enticing. We'll all run over there. And we'll end up repeating history right back to where we're at right now. It's just a revolving door that don't stop, keeps spinning. And we don't know how to get off it. Well, there's several answers to it, but what do? Do you just completely get off, tune out, stop giving them traffic. In some cases, I don't think even if you did that, I don't think it'd work. Especially on platforms where you can't delete your profiles, you can't delete your history. They just create a bot with that account, and there's that traffic, even though you're no longer there. Something to think about and theorize about. Because I do know how bots work. Especially on low-end platforms that are trying to get started, they'll create a bunch of bots to generate traffic. It's actually taught when designing sites and building websites and platforms to get you started. You know, I remember the mass migration of DLive, and I was one of the few that's out there questioning it. No. Found out they're no better than the rest of them. But what was enticing to that? A decentralized platform, a cryptocurrency-based platform. Then we seen what we see even with our politicians. Greed takes over. It's about the money. It's not about the message. No, I'd like to see it where everybody could be rewarded for the things they do, the content they make and create, without fear of backlash or repercussion. But if you want to do that, go to Pornhub. Oh, wait, even they censor. There is no place to go. Actually, they're actually more stricter than Twitter when it comes to that type of content. How fucked up is that? But even in the 80s and 90s, if anybody took advertising, learned about business and advertising and what types of advertising is, everybody knows the number one thing that sells is sex. Sex sells, so does violence. And catchy slogans and word manipulations. But I guess they don't teach that in school no more. They probably don't. But it's been the story of sex. I mean, it actually comes straight from the fucking con artist handbook. The what am I looking for? What do we call it? Snake oil salesman? That's the word. Nothing more than a con artist, but hey, they know what sells. They know how to trick you into buying. I was a big advocate of the mines for a while, especially when they started playing around with the little jury system, which I haven't really seen. I don't know if it's in place anymore or not. I know I haven't gotten no notifications to be part of a jury anymore, so that might be because, well, okay, does it violate the law? Okay, all right, cool. It looks good to me. Did the person do as they're supposed to, part of the TOS? Yeah, it says not safe for work. Adult content, okay. Mature language, okay. He did what he was supposed to. She did what she was supposed to. I approve it. I don't see why he got stricken down. Why? Because no matter what platform you are, you're going to have the haters. The haters will hate and continue to hate. You'll have those that just don't agree with you and going to do whatever they can. And this is social media. Blame this on social media. They're the ones that taught you how to do this. If you don't like it, hit the dislike button. If you don't like it, report it. It's even carried itself This ugly little head over to the mines. We got people like that. I don't agree with this person, so I'm reporting it. I'm going to try to get it taken down. But yet you're over there because you want free speech. You want to be able to express yourself. But you can't respect another person's views, beliefs, or opinions. You can't respect, oh, this person just happens to like adult material. Okay. I don't. I do in an artistic sense. As an artist, I enjoy that aspect of it, but I don't want to see the porn aspect of it on my social media feeds. If I want to see that, their site's appropriate for that. But does that mean the Minds has a right, should take all that down? No, because it goes against what they expressed that their platform was about. See, that's the difference. When you start speaking about freedoms, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and we know about all these things the Supreme Court has ruled on when it comes to different niches and aspects of things, whether we agree with it or not, I think, as far as I'm concerned, I think porn should have its own little niche, its own little platforms where kids or people that don't want to see that crap can't get to it. And if you go there, that's on you. That's your fault. There's nobody else to blame but you. You went there. Don't blame the company for having it. You went there. You allowed yourself to be offended. You allowed yourself to be triggered. Or you went there to maliciously try to force your opinions and views on somebody else to try to get something taken down, which makes you no better than the rest of the pieces of crap. Yeah, Brady, it's probably not a podcast for you either. Anyway, this podcast probably get you in trouble. Speaking of trouble, consequences to my podcast. Now, there's consequences. I knew I was treading a thin line when I got in a relationship with somebody that was, was military and, had rank and had clearance. I told myself I was going to tone it down. I'd like to think I toned it down a bit while we were together, but in the end, this very channel, my words, my opinions, my views, cost me a relationship. You know who I blame? Oh, no, I don't blame her. Don't blame the military. Well, no, I made decisions. I made choices. I chose to open my mouth on subjects I knew was dangerous territory. Do I agree with it? No, I don't think it should have to be like that. But insert foot, open mouth, and I'm reaping the repercussions of that. Now, but it's easy to go blaming people. I can blame all kinds of people. Oh, that's wrong. Get mad all I want. No. In the end, we all make choices. We're all responsible for our choices. Maybe up until last 4 or 5 weeks, I didn't realize how much I actually committed to this channel. How much in the end that I am willing to sacrifice in my beliefs and opinions. But you best believe that now that I'm not going to bite my tongue, in fact, I'm probably going to be more venomous than I've ever been. Why? Because you have to be. If you want to stand up for the things you believe in, the things that you know are right, you got to be willing to pay the price for those choices, those sacrifices that you might not realize you will end up making. You know what? I can live with that. I can live with that with a clear conscience. I'm not ran from any of these platforms. I haven't ran from Facebook. And truthfully, Facebook's the only one that's given me any headaches. I mean, the 1 year, I probably spent 98% of the year in Facebook jail because of these videos. Then I decided to stop sharing these videos to my personal feed and just share them to my group feed, thinking, okay, that might solve it. No, they put me in jail for both of them. Hell, I even got Free Spirit Prepping News' Facebook group nuked because of my video. I've had things disappear from my Twitter feed. I've never been banned or suspended from Twitter. But then again, it's all about the fucking numbers. This is what you guys don't get. I jump up and down between 75 to 83. I think I made it to 90 followers here on YouTube. And that's without me doing any advertising. Not telling you to click the subscribe button. Not telling you to share the links. Hit the like button. Not telling you any of that. Just doing my thing. Enjoying my thing with what little audience I get. And I've been around for 5 years. Not a single community strike. Not a single guideline violation on this channel. I've caught a couple on a couple of the other channels, but that was for stupid shit that I knew. Well, back then I didn't know. Really? You guys are going to start again? No. You can spam my chat all you want. I'm just going to report you and make YouTube do their job. The worst part is you're doing it to a small channel that don't get no views over here on YouTube. That's how dumb you guys are when you spam my channel. But it also tells me, hey, I'm on point with something. I've got somebody out there hating, not liking what I'm saying. But you know what? That just drives me to keep doing it. Oh, yeah, I am that type of person. Once I get started, once you get under my skin, I don't stop. All you do is invigorate me. I love the dislike button. I'm pissed that fucking YouTube got rid of it. Because every time you hit that dislike, I knew I was doing my job. I knew something I said triggered him. I made you think. That's what our job is. It's to make you think, make you question things. To get you to do dumb shit, spam my channels. Call in and try to drop the N-word. Well, that won't happen no more. Unless you're invited on this channel. Or you have or I've given you a private link. several of you now have, you will not get back on here to do that crap again. Learned my lesson. Tried to be nice. This year's not about being nice. You know what they say about the nice guy? They always finish last. No. This year's not even about being driven. It's time to go back to the old school, old me, which 98% of the people don't like. But I love Smiley. The whole mask thing. I still see people wear masks to this day. I get it with the elderly, but I don't get it with the healthy, young, and people out there. Unless you've got COVID. Well, if you got COVID, you shouldn't be out and about anyway. Let's keep it real. If you're sick, stay at home. That should be common sense anywhere, no matter what it is. I don't want to catch what you got. But that's not going to keep me from going out and about. Hell no. We should be going out and about. We should be having conversations with people on topics like many of the topics I've discussed. We need to quit living in that illusionary world, that little bubble that they're trying to create for us, that is designed to further separate us, further divide us, further pit us against each other. You know, we should be working on shattering those illusions, those veils, those false realities, those lies and half-truths. We shouldn't be scared to speak our mind, speak our truths, our opinions, our views. Yes, some people take offense. Some people might not like your views and your opinions. Doesn't mean shut up, but be respectful about it. Oh, there's a word most of you don't understand either. Respect. Well, I'm old school. Respect's earned. It's not given. I don't give you respect freely. You earn it. You know, your actions speak louder than your words. Your actions will earn my respect, not your words. I want to hear seductive words like we'll get a prostitute that's trained in seduction. Why? Because I know it's a lie and I know it's an illusion, but hey, at least she knows how to make her money and is quite happy with it. Harsh realities, right? I mean, if you're going to allow somebody to do that, why not pay somebody that gets pleasure in doing that instead of letting somebody do it to you maliciously? In fact, I know some people out there do it to you for free. If you're into that kind of thing, I'm not. I rather keep it real, be natural. And I'll be damned if I'm paying for anything. I won't even pay for better streaming software. I'll use the free stuff that's out there. Why pay for it? When there's plenty of free stuff that works just as good. Some of it works better. Case in point, the Jitsi app on the mines in your groups that they call the Gathering. Amazing little app that's free. Now allows me to stream to Rumble, any place I can put a streaming key in. So I could actually use Restream if I wanted to pay for some of their services and stream on multiple platforms right here from the Gathering app or Jitsi app on the Gathering in my group on the mines. Free of charge. Allows me to do call-ins, screen share when they get it fixed. Have people in like we used to do in Hangouts. Why go over to Rumble and have to pay to play? I'm not paying to play anything. If I want to pay to play, I'll create my own little playground. Oh, wait. I can hear the critics out there now. Did you pay for internet? Yes, I do. Why? Because it's my entertainment. It is my escape from reality. I pay for internet, so I have access to my Prime. So I have access to whatever documentary I want to watch or movie that I want to watch because I want to tune out. Because I don't want to go outside in 10-degree weather. Oh, but when it warms up or when you actually get enough snow to go actually cross-country skiing or snowboarding, yeah, I'll be out there instead of in here. That's my escape from reality. Of course, I don't even need all that. Just those that really know me the best, I can easily just get lost in my own head and stay there. Way better conversations and intellectual conversation goes on there than with most of the rocks and brick walls that you have to deal with in everyday life, right? Truthfully, I'd much rather be at work. Especially in the mood I'm in, I'd much rather be at work. I had a week off and I hated it. It was fun for the first couple of days, and it's like, man, I'm out of things to clean. I'm out of things to do. I'm all caught up. Really don't feel like talking about this subject, so we're not. Ran out of things to watch. Yeah, I'm ready to get back to work. I'm ready to get back to socializing with people. Because right now, current situation, two people supposed to be paying for this place, and right now it's just me. And yeah, you should have seen my electric bill. My landlord don't even understand why my electric bill is that high, and they're actually looking into it because it should be half of what theirs was. When I told them, they're like, "No way, it can't be." I'm like, "Yeah, it is." And I got to the 14th to pay it. And luckily, the 14th will be a full week's check. That will just cover it. As long as I put in a lot of overtime. So yeah, that's what I'll be doing this week, trying to get some overtime. More than I normally get. But that's life. Which probably means my little now bachelor pad's going to be coming to an end. Because I can't afford it. I can, but I can't afford outrageous electric bills like that. Or get a roommate. And well, that's kind of pointless. I might as well get closer to work, and save myself $100 a week in gas. and get someplace closer to home and a little bit cheaper. See, we always got choices in life that we have to make. I made choices last year that is now affecting things now. Won't take any of those choices back. I enjoyed every minute of it. I enjoy the fact that I actually made an investment for my future later down the road when my parents pass away, taking over property that I grew up on. I'll have a nice house that still needs work, but yet I got the most major part of the work that needed done was having the roof redone. Yes, that set me back for a few years, about 12, but it needed done. And it wasn't something I could do by myself. So, and it's one of those things, you want something done right, have it done right. Be willing, if you're in a situation where you could, and at the time I was, technically at the time I still am, just need to clean up a few bills, then it's not a problem. Plus, the vehicle will be paid off at the end of this year. And that bill will be just nothing, just like $100 more than what I already paid for my vehicle. So, all good. But you got to get to that point. It's consequences and choices. We can't predict every stumbling block and roadblock in the way, or the things that are going to come up out of nowhere on us. We can be, that's my whole thing with prepping. You can prepare for everything, but there's always something that you're not prepared for, the unexpected. Don't fear the unexpected when it happens. Just walk through it like you've done everything else in your life. How you've learned to overcome every obstacle. If you're constantly worried about that unforeseen thing that you can't plan for, then that unforeseen thing, when it happens, is going to wreak havoc. Because you gave it power. You have fear. These people here, humans, they feed off fear, they feed off love, they feed off your compassion, they feed off your weakness. And what people don't realize is you control those things. It's getting close for me, it's getting close to about that time to do spring cleaning. And I don't mean around the house. The house is clean. No, I do at least twice a year. I'll go through my social media and do some spring cleaning or fall cleaning. I'll get rid of the ones that are toxic, that have no business in my circle. Those that are just there because they want something. Oh, come subscribe to my OnlyFans, or oh, you're single, you're a sucker. Let me see if I can get you some money. No, you got the wrong guy there. Because I don't care if I'm in a relationship or I'm not. Really too old for playing those games. The last thing I'm going to do is give you any money. So don't even ask. Don't subscribe to me over on Twitter, TikTok, the Vines, and start talking about cryptocurrency. I don't care. It's not my thing. Never will be. This glass has more value than your cryptocurrency. Why? I can hold it. I can touch it. Fuck, I can put liquid in it and drink it. It has uses. I can see that smoke. But an illusionary object that you've found a way to trick people that it's valuable. That's the joke of all jokes. Yes, you can make money off it because of people are dumb enough to put value on something that's imaginary. Cryptocurrency is a dangerous game. But it's a tool. I don't knock anybody for using it. Especially those that are smart enough to know how to use it, get out. But I like to gamble on for sure things. The stock market's a scam. Cryptocurrency, seriously, is a scam. They're all Ponzi, a form of a Ponzi scam. It's just a con artist selling it, and it's so volatile that, yeah, you might make a lot of money now, and next month you'll lose half of it or all of it. Why take that risk? I mean, fuck, you got a better chance of hitting the lotto, honestly. Not really. People like me will never hit the lotto. That's its design scam system, too. That's an illusion. We've forgotten how to live within our means, without being comfortable with the things we have. Taking care of our needs, and working towards our wants when we can afford them and have a little extra. No, sorry, I don't believe in keeping up with the Joneses. That's the biggest joke of them all. That's actually designed to divide you and separate you and pit you against each other. And actually to put you further in debt and be enslaved to the system. No, I'm happy with the things I got. Buy everything in here. Oh, okay. Minus the couch and bed. I didn't pay for that. But it's mine. Because Shane said keep it. So now I'm stuck with furniture and things that, hey, you know what? I will get another place. If I can't work these things out, and I'll have these things. The less things I have to buy. And some of it, yes, I did pay for. Or help pay for. But, you know, like I said, consequences. I decided to do podcasts, kept doing them, knowing that I was treading dangerous grounds. You know, it's not the first time I've done that. I've been with several. A lot of women I've been with. I've been very career-oriented. And I love that about them. Why? Because they're alphas. And, you know, you can't jeopardize somebody's career. Some of you say, well, if you love them enough, you will. Well, yeah. But if I love them that much, they should respect the love I have for myself and my views and opinions and beliefs. If you can't do that, then you're not the alpha for me. And I ain't your beta. We're equal partners. We're equal alphas. I have your back. I expect you to have mine. You know, in my circles, there is no betas. I'm not going to say that's always going to be the case because we all need our little cannon fodder. Everything's a tool and everything has a purpose until it doesn't. And that, I know, pisses a bunch of you off. How can you say that? That's evil. No. That's survival. You know, even when we build our communities, what we want, there's going to be people we don't like, They have necessary skill sets that we don't have, that we need, our community needs. But everything's a tool. Everything has its use, its purpose, until it doesn't. You know, we're not talking about peacetime either. Because we're not. We're not in a peacetime scenario. We're every day engaged in conflict. Whether it be information, putting an end to the corruption, the division, and any scholar of tacticians and tactical warfare understands that no nation that wants to survive will adhere to and abide by rules of so-called engagement. Because you can't. Because if you do, you lose. Peaceful protests only get you so far. And in this day and age, it's pretty much a joke. Because they know they got everybody so divided that it's not the majority. Your protest is a minority. And you'll just go away. Of course, then you have the other coin of it, the opposition of the protest, the actors, the provocateurs that they hire by the busloads and shipped to here and here to cause mayhem and destruction, which gives peaceful protesters a bad name because they use them to blame you. Which continues to further divide. So why don't you nip it in the bud? Either unite as a whole or change your way of thinking. Better yet, don't change the way you're thinking. Start thinking for yourselves, not others. Put you first. Don't let others do the thinking for you. Don't be the blind following the blind over the cliff that you're being led to blindly. For God's sake, quit drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm not going to be an echo chamber here. Echo chambers are dangerous. Truthfully, an echo chamber is just as much just being a part of an occult. Because you're being brainwashed. You're not having intellectual conversations. It's one-sided conversations. Nobody's there stirring the pot and making you think and question. They're telling you exactly what everybody else is telling you. Find somebody who's telling you something different that is outside that echo chamber. until they become the echo chamber, then move along, change the channel. Right now, the echo chamber is going to tell you it's time to get off Twitter, time to get off Facebook, time to get off YouTube, go someplace else, go over here to Getter or GitHub, whatever it is, or Rumble or Parler. We'll see what happened there, or Gab. You know what? Go where you want, but do it because you want to go there. You want to see what it's like. Don't leave where you're at. Fuck no. Make them ban you. Make them suspend you. Make them delete your account. Go down fighting at least. This is what you should be doing. You shouldn't be running like a bunch of spineless cowards. But don't stand there and say, well, they suspended me. I didn't do anything. And blame everything and everybody. Blame the trolls. No, you made a choice to be there, and you know the consequences. Every time we open our mouths on any platform, we're the guest. They have a right to serve us or remove us. It's just the way of things. But I tell you what, I'm going to make you remove me. I ain't going to remove myself. I'm not going to go running like some spineless jellyfish. No, I'm going to stand. In fact, you're just provoking me to keep talking. You're making me want to open my mouth and say more. Cause and effect. But all these platforms have that right. And we know it. Of course, some people might not know things that's happened on Parler, Rumble, things that happened in the past with Gab, where other of us did. Gab can claim what they want. Actions speak louder than words. You did it twice. There's a potential third time, but that person removed the content. So the platform the hosting server that they were using would take them down. That way they can make it to the transfer until they got to their own private little utopia was created and finished. And that's still up for speculation in itself. But I wasn't the fly on the wall there, so I can't tell you how it went down. But I can theorize about it. I can philosophize about it. I kind of tend to listen to my inner voice and say, yeah, I don't think it went down as they say. But either way, can't prove it one way or the other, so it's happened twice. With a third time being in speculation. Which means you'll do it again. No, Gab, it's like a big fat one. I'm sorry. They flat out tell you what they're about. Maybe I should read the past couple newsletters they send. I see it, and I actually don't want to read them because I hate it. Because it's hypocrisy. It's hypocritical. And I know it. I hear everybody talking about we need more people to wake up. I don't wish anybody truthfully, I don't wish anybody to be awake and see the world for what it really is. See reality. Probably much safer in their little illusions than what they think it is. But once you open those doors, you can't go back. You can put the blinders on all you want. It don't work. You know, those are the lucky ones. The ones that are actually not awake. Honestly, you are. The world's an ugly place out there. But yet, if you look, you can still find the beauty. You can still see people fighting the good fight. Being true, good human beings. And that's what makes each day refreshing in these dark times we live in. You know, I can flip around, see his post. Oh man, that's awesome. That's what I needed today. There's hope. And we've seen it. But we can't fall back in our old ways. We can't. Or else all these little games we made is for nothing, because we're just going to fall right back into it again. And have to remake these games. That's why running is not the answer, never has been, never will be. We need to keep going forward with the accomplishments and the things we made and not stop. We need to be pit bulls, vipers, true alphas. Proceeding forward. We cannot back down. That does not mean you can't retreat. No, because there is a time where retreat is necessary. That's not backing down. That's being smart, knowing you cannot win, and no, running is not retreating. Two different things, two different terminologies, two different origins of words. Running will get you slaughtered. Retreating will keep your numbers whole with minimum casualties, if it's done smartly and rightly. Running is fear. Oh my God, they're purging again. They haven't stopped. They're removing people every day. Have been all last year. All the year before that. And the year before that. And it's really happening. The numbers are bigger every time it's a certain type of election cycle, whether it be for Congress or for president. We forget something. For every one of us they remove, we are replaced by 2 or 3. With a population as big as this world, the ones that they remove is a pinprick compared to what replaces us. It's like a hydra, the mythical hydra. You cut one head off, 2 or 3 grow back in its place. Now, normally we use that terminology for them, but they use it for us too. We'll just chop these heads off. There'll be young, new people that don't have the same mindset, haven't been taught what these people have taught. We'll replace them with them. Yeah, it might hurt our shares and revenues for a short period of time, but we'll gain in the long run with the 3 or 4 that we replace from the 1. It's fucked up when you can play devil advocate, isn't it? and you're actually right. We should be playing devil's advocate with everything. We should be questioning everything. We should be able to put ourselves in their shoes. Then we start understanding things, and we start understanding how the power structures work, how the control works, how the fear works. Then we start shattering those illusions. Then we start realizing, well, yeah, I get it. I've got choices now. I can choose to find someplace else. Because honestly, I'd be just as happy getting rid of all the rest of them, staying on the mines. I'm happy there. No problems, no issues. But I do that, then I lose touch with all of you. On all these various platforms I'm on, which is too many to fucking list. All these friendships I've made, connections I've made, and all these different niches that most of you are too scared to go venturing in. But yet we have some common denominators. We're like-minded. We believe in the same things and freedoms. We don't judge each other because, I just happen to be over here, not over there. Until the day we learn to stop judging other people for their beliefs, their opinions, and their views. Because when you start doing that, when you start condemning them, calling them evil or bad because they have a different opinion, but you're no better than the people you blame. They're no better than these elites. You're no better than them. But there's some reality for you. There's some hard truths for you. We allowed the situations to happen and become the way they are. Why? Because we're so judgmental. We either got to keep up with the Joneses or we got to keep up with the appearance that we're good people. But yet, after you get out of church, you have a few beers, smack your wife, kick your dog. But as soon as church comes around, perfect problem. We're the perfect Christian. I don't mean to be bashing Christians, but you know what I mean. It's every circle. Any pillar of the community that you're in, whether you're temples or not. You show a good face in public, but once you close your house doors, completely different story. Start talking about, this person said this, that. She thinks she's all high and mighty. But when you're with them, perfect individuals, complimenting. As soon as you close the doors, they're no longer around. Can you believe that hussy? Can you believe that she's still with him, even though he has a girl on the side? Where he goes to the bar every night? Yeah. It's a shame we haven't got learned not to do that. I haven't broken those habits by now. But why would you? It's ingrained in you. You're just as much as the problem that you bitch about. I always say change ain't gonna happen unless the change starts at home. Starts with you first. We gotta be willing to change. Can't go out there changing the world when we keep doing the same things that we bitch about that we want change. Sorry, actions speak louder than words. When you close those doors, nobody's around, and you kind of completely talking about your neighbor or your friend. Just because they can't hear you, people see it, people feel it, people know. Why? Because most of you don't know how to hide those emotions and energies and vibrations. Why? Because you're never taught to, or you was taught, oh, that's evil. I can't believe he's talking about those things. That's the devil's work. Know thine enemy. That's all I gotta say. Those are the very tools that are being used against you all the time, and you don't have, you're none the wiser because, hey, that's evil. That's taboo. Yeah, it might be, but you sure as hell don't know how to defend yourself against it, now do you? And you never will, because you won't open that door and question. As long as you have that illusionary belief that that's evil, that's is causing division within yourself. That's dividing you from truths that you need to hear. Harsh reality. Because we don't want to hear about the things we've been taught is wrong. That turns out, well, hey, if I delved a little bit there, being very questionable about it, and protective of how I go about it, but with an open mind, I may have learned how to protect myself against the very things that they use against you every day. The manipulations, the repetitiveness of words, or repetitiveness of the imagery. Yep, anytime you start seeing something being repeated and repetitively used, time to stop and question why. What's the catch? Why is this word being used everywhere? It's not a coincidence because there's no such thing as coincidences. Just like there's no such thing as karma. It's a cause and effect. There's a reason, there's a purpose, and there's usually more than one person behind it being little puppet masters. When they're the ones, they're actually the puppets whose strings are being pulled, which is the irony of that one in itself. But yet here we are. Repeating the very same things that we've seen the atrocities of World War II. Why? It's a lot easier to repeat that history when that history is almost eradicated. I'll give you an example. A Holocaust museum here in the United States. People that was coming in, they were being asked for their paperwork to prove that they were vaccinated. Let's talk about history repeating itself. And that's keeping people out of that museum who would probably learn quickly the truth that who asked for paperwork? What did they persecute? Who did they persecute? Who did they take to the concentration camps where atrocities upon atrocities happened? Who did they stamp with a number? Tattoo a number on their arms? The audacity, the bigotry, the hypocrisy for a Holocaust museum to ask people for their paperwork. That's the times we're living in. And people better get smart and get smart quick. Because the one thing about history, when it repeats, it's usually far worse than what transpired because they've learned from their mistakes. And the real atrocities will make the ones that happened in history look minuscule. And history has shown us that. We evolve, we learn, we adapt. And we usually do things better the next time around. In most cases, on a horrific scale. No, the funny part, I don't even feel like joking about my favorite person to joke about. Because, I'm sorry, when you open your mouth and stupidity just rolls out worse than what stupidity should be, I can't make fun of it. This is not funny no more. The little ball gag joke doesn't work. But a weak ass beta thinking they're dominant over another beta, that was funny. That's all I gotta say. A weaker beta thinking they're dominant over a more dominant beta. Wow, that was hilarious. Never thought I'd see that in my lifetime. I never thought I'd see a world full of betas either. But if you want to conquer, you have to do a culling. And that means removing those that will be in your way. And those heathens and heretics and pagans that are free thinkers. Except for now, we just call them alphas. We call them agitators. We call them Republicans. We call them liberals. We call them conservatives. We call them patriots. MAGA. Oh, you can't stand up to the school boards. If you're opposing this at the school board, we're going to label you a domestic terrorist. Yep, jump in line. I've already been labeled that. Fuck you. Pick a different title, different label. It doesn't mean anything to me. They're not going to call you a freedom fighter. They're not going to call you a patriot. They're going to call you a domestic terrorist. You have an opinion, you have a view. Well, they're going to call you. Oh, you violated our terms of service. You're practicing hate speech. You threatened somebody. But you have all this here. This person said it. Well, yeah, well, this person's in a different social class than you are. They're not domestic terrorists. They're not hate speakers. They're not Nazis. They're not free thinkers. And by the way, this is a corporation. This is a private company. Therefore, I have the right not to serve you. Then that is fact. That is the reality of things. Doesn't matter where we go to, where we run to, they're all the same. It's just a different, colorful label created to draw you in, make money, because you are the commodity. You are their revenue. And when they make enough, guess what? They'll turn on you, just like D-Live turned on everybody that thought that was a safe haven. Just like everybody went to Parliament thought that was a safe haven. There is no safe havens. The only thing you can do is stand, keep doing it. Oh, yeah, okay, cool. You suspended me. I'll be back. Or I won't be back. I might go play over here for a while. But at least I stayed and took a stand to the very end. Of course, I'll be back. That's the difference between some of us. You're going to have to ban my IP address. It's the only way you're going to get rid of me. And even then, you're not going to get rid of me. But that's not for neither here nor there. Anybody smart enough knows how to do it. In fact, you don't have to be that damn smart. Truthfully, you just got to have the right free antivirus program on your computer and phone. You notice I said free. There's better ones out there. I want to pay for it. Why pay for something when you can have it for free? Oh, some people have it because that's their sponsors. That's a source of income for them, so they sponsor them. There's only a couple out there that I know of, and I won't mention them because I don't believe in pay to play. That actually haven't ever went after or said, we're going to drop you because we don't agree with what you say. There's only a couple out there. That's why I don't sell merchandise. I don't sell t-shirts. I'm tired of being asked, honestly. I just don't ask. It's not going to happen. The only way it happens is if I make my own. And I don't have that time, and I don't have the money to invest in stuff that needs to be invested in to make it. Because then, oh my God, it'd be hell to pay. But then again, been read the Riot Act once. I don't need to go through that. I already know they'll only tolerate that for so long. But hey, there's an idea for somebody out there who can actually want to make an investment and afford it. Do that. But you better be about the right thing. There's plenty of people on here with love. That's got some great artwork, some great slogans and sayings. Would love to be able to have a sponsor like you, like that, on their channel. Somebody's going to say, hey, I don't approve. I don't agree with it. But it's so hard to find people like that because people like that are true free thinkers and true constitutionalists that respect everybody and everybody's beliefs and opinions. They don't choose a side. They don't say, well, I don't agree with that. So no, I can't do it. See, this is something we learned. Because when we start doing those things, we become no better than The very people that have been bitching about. Deny a service to somebody because something we don't agree with. And don't get me wrong. I think we all agree with there's some things that's just not right. Should never be tolerated. In fact, I don't think the justice system has even the right way of dealing with these people because it's sick and has no place in this world. We can all agree on those things. But everything else, we shouldn't judge. If it offends you or you don't like it, don't tune in. Don't buy it. But don't blame that company that's a true free speech thing, or believes in your expressions and free speech, that believes in truly believes in the Constitution. Actually, that's a very good saying. When you go out fighting monsters, take care that you do not become one. And many do. And actually, history has proven that. A lot of times, these people that go out there, that's why I've always stated, and I'll state this very clearly this time, there is no such thing as a righteous cause. Because 9 times out of 10, actually, it's almost 100% true. Your righteousness does not affect the whole. It's just your personal opinions and beliefs that a group of people, like-minded, not even like-minded, just have the same mindset as you, then you start oppressing everybody that has a different mindset. So therefore, you become no better than the monsters that you replaced. But yet, it's on the precedence of it's a righteous cause. It's a righteous action. It's the righteous thing to do. There's no such thing as righteousness. All the talks we talked about. Yes, we agree on many aspects of the same thing. We need all this crap replaced and rebuilt. And we have to be careful. We don't want to put in the very same monsters that we've gotten rid of. We don't want the system to create the same monsters. As for somebody that's been vocal and stated, my founding father, John Rutledge, made a mistake. But it was the times. Yes, they envisioned the country growing, the nation growing. They had speculations of what it would become. They had theories. The biggest mistake made was not putting term limits on our politicians. He opposed it. He gave his reasons why. And at the time, his reasons why was understandable. No one foresaw our government growing to what it is today. No one foresaw, because, look at them. Look at our founding fathers. They fought wars. Then they took over our government, created our government. George Washington tried to walk away from it all and got pulled right back in to become our first president, even though he didn't want to. He wanted away from it. He was done. Many of our founding fathers, they wanted to get away and still got pulled back into it. Then they started realizing things. As things started growing, we had the Loyalist Party. That we can question this logic till we're blue in the face. In the end, even though I might debate it, philosophize, theorize about it, in the end, to prove a point, to prove what our Constitution is supposed to mean, they allowed the lobbyists that part of our or the loyalists to have part of our government, even though they were still loyal to the crown. And some of them, my founding father, found out the hard way when he opposed the treaty with Britain, because he was asked. George Washington appointed him to step in on the Supreme Court till his nomination, because he was a for sure shoo-in for the nomination, but they needed somebody to hear cases at that time, and they let him sit in. Well, his big mouth and his rebelness, and he was right to oppose the treaty, and everything he said justifying why he opposed it came to be, but at the cost of his nomination to the Supreme Court. So to this day, when they mentioned it during the Kavanaugh thing, John Rutledge is the only Supreme Court justice to be nominated and never appointed. Congress never approved his nomination. The only one to date. Why? Because he took a stance. He fought for what he believed in. Yes, he got labeled a Jeffersonian. But sacrifice. He knew what he was sacrificing. The very thing that first Congressional Stamp Act, second Congressional Stamp Act, and helping to write and found our laws within the Constitution. And I can go on and on what he did in his lifetime. Yes, I'm proud to be a direct descendant of John Rutledge. I'm proud to know that my family name's on that Constitution. So yes, that Constitution means a lot to me. The sacrifices that's been made throughout the years for it means a lot. And I'll be goddamned if I'm going to shut my mouth and not defend it. And not defend everybody that it's meant to protect, which is everybody, regardless of your beliefs or your opinions or your views, or your religious preference or your sexuality preference or your color of your skin. You're all supposed to be brothers and sisters. You're all supposed to be free. Now, to some people, like the AOCs of the world, the Bidens of the world, the Obamas of the world, that makes me a monster. That makes me the enemy. That makes me the domestic terrorist. That makes me the threat. Let's see how we can get to him now. Oh, he's in a relationship with this person. This person just happens to be part of the military with rank and access to knowledge. Oh, no. Careful. Ain't the one. Never have been. That's only going to invigorate me. It's not going to get me depressed. It's not going to get me to change my beliefs. It's not going to get me to submit and take knee. In fact, it's going to piss me the fuck off. So if you didn't like what I was saying in 2021, you're really not going to like what I have to say in 2022. Cause and effect. And the most powerful tool every one of us has is our voice. Learn how to use it. The most dangerous weapon you possess is your voice. Learn to sharpen it as fine as you'd sharpen your filleting knife and skinning knives. Learn to make that your voice as precision as the precision marksmen in the world are. Because that's how dangerous your voice is. It's more dangerous than the sniper or the assassin. That's what they fear the most. What they've always feared is your voice. They fear free thinkers coming in, using their voices to awaken people, to point out the illusions, the hypocrisy of things. As long as we're doing that, we're winning. Yes, we are fighting fear with fear. We're using the very thing that they've feared that the Catholic Church had to coin as a word: heretic, heathen, pagan. The original origins of those words mean free thinkers, country folk, the everyday people that they want to control, manipulate, enslave, treat as a commodity, a source of labor for their personal gains, while they sit back, having dinner or lunch on a Florida beach while the city they represent is in utter chaos because of vaccinations. Police going around bullying kids because where's your paperwork? But yet you got a 70-year-old man or 80-year-old man walks into a building, gets knocked the fuck out, kicked, not a cop to be seen. Why? Because they're too busy bullying children, asking for their paperwork. What little respect I have for cops is quickly going out the window because nobody's standing up and saying what they should be saying, that what they're doing is wrong. But wait, there are. They're not showing you it. In fact, anybody knows my Twitter feed? You actually go through my feed, you'll see a video I shared from TikTok. Cops taking a stance. Some of them were going as far as taking their badges off and throwing them in the street. They were lined up, throwing their cuffs, badges in the streets in protest. So there's still hope. There's still good cops out there. I am not going to let a few bad apples blame it all. But I tell you what, you cops out there that listen to this, I doubt there's very many of you. If you want our respect, do the right things. Your job, you took an oath. Honor that oath. Start standing up with us. Stop agreeing to unconstitutional, unlawful orders. Take a stance. Take it with the people, and we, the people, will support you and stand beside you as you stand beside us. That's what we should be doing with everybody. Instead of blaming everybody for just a few bad apples. That's how we break the bonds. That's how we break these the control. And that's how we further fight fear with fear, because they fear us united. They've been at it ever since 9/11, when we were probably the most united as we've ever been in a very long time. I mean, it literally healed men from people that still had arguments and feuds about Vietnam. It drew everybody, no matter what the religious belief, the race, the color, together. And they quickly started working on fixing that with the Patriot Act, the NDAA bill, the stuff they added into it afterwards. Obama coming along and giving an executive order to turn the media into propaganda war machines. Congress people that we elect going in there, going after our Second Amendment rights, saying, oh, you need to suspend. And anybody knows this channel, I don't can't stand Alex Jones, not one bit. I think he's a fucking CIA plant that they use whenever they need to come after every one of us. They use him as an example, and Congress did. Back in one of those meetings where they called all these social media platforms in, where Jim Jordan and a few other senators read them the Riot Act. Like I said, all words, no action. And you had politicians, oh, he's trending. You need to take him down. Just like that, smoke. Removing a president from their platforms because it goes against their views should tell everybody everything what these social media platforms are. Now, what do? Yeah, the truthful answer, what we should do, won't happen. Why? Because you're addicted. You're addicts when it comes to social media platforms. And some of you, well, that's the only way you can talk to these people is on that social media platform. It's the only way you can reach your friends in other countries. See, they do, in a sense, have us by the balls. Unless you're willing to sacrifice. You're willing to say, I've had enough. And everybody just deletes their shit. But unfortunately, it goes back to the little mythological Hydra. All of us that delete our shit, 2 or 3 more will come and replace us. Or 2 days go by, I can't do it, I gotta go back. Boycotts work sometimes, but the majority of times, yeah, not so much. Because you have to do it for and a lot of these big corporations, like Walmart's, your Twitters, your Facebooks, you have to do it for a lengthy period of time to really affect their bottom line. And most people can't stay away that long. We become addicted to technology. We get addicted to these social media platforms. We made friendships. We made kinships. And they know this. They know they have so much control over each and one of us. Until we just get to that point where we just don't give a fuck no more. And I think some of you might find out, the real ugly reality. You're better off without it. You really are. You'll start finding that you're happier. You start feeling a freedom that you didn't realize you were missing. So much negativity disappears that you didn't realize you'd being so bombarded with. The world would probably be a better place. And I hate to say this because I think the internet is a beautiful tool. I think I've stated this. I love YouTube. Why? Because I can go on there and learn so many different skills and trades. If I need to fix something on my vehicle, I don't have to take it to a mechanic. I can find mechanics that actually got videos step by step on how to do it. Oh, and I proved this. I learned how to code and create platforms and websites clear down to creating my own servers right off YouTube and the internet. Listening to professors' full class lectures on how to code, build. So there is so many positives, but yet there's just this equal amount of negatives. What are you willing to sacrifice? It's a good question. And most of us don't know until we're put in a situation where we have to make a sacrifice or not. And I'm not going to say you're going to be a happy camper about it when you make that choice. It's going to hurt either way. It's what you can live with. I made mine, always made mine. I'm actually a lot quicker than most to make them. I don't even call it a gift, it's a curse. But I can make decisions quick. Because I can sit there and weigh the pros and cons and all the consequences that I can foresee, and I can foresee quite far, which allows me to make a rapid decision. And it's not a blessing, and it's not a gift. It's not something I will even teach anybody how to do. That's how bad it is. Those, and I know a lot of people are like that. They pretty much will say the same thing. Not something they wish they would have learned or realized they could do. Yeah, like I said, this world is full of people that I've met. I've had a wonderful life. I've met all walks of life. I've met people that can touch you. This is actually, they were a Christian denomination. I can't remember what church they were from. They were amazing people. Dude shook my hand and told me all my ailments. It was like, and I've heard about it. You know, I always blew it off. So, whatever. Then we had some good conversations that day. It was like, you know, it's just like, I've had good conversations with some elder Native Americans. That, but I think the one thing I took from, the best thing I took from it was from a Native American that I met. Just got to spend about a week with him. One thing he said that has stuck with me, it's always stuck with me, that I truly believe is true. We were talking about religion. Yeah. The old the problematic things that how many holy wars were fought over, how many nations were persecuted. And he said it best. There's many faces and many names of God, but we believe that they're all the one and same God. We all worship the same God. We just call them different names. It gave me a new perspective on religion. gave me a new perspective and respect for people that had different religious beliefs. If we can learn to understand and strip the dogma out of the religion and just stick with the scripture and the things we're drawn to within the scripture, we would actually see that it allows us to be open to other people's beliefs and ideas. And then we'll start to realize, because I recommend this to anybody, go out there. Take your little, whatever you've been taught, put it on the shelf, leave it set there, forget about it, and go from denomination to denomination, from church to church, different denominations, until you reach back to square one. It's an interesting little journey in life. And you'll see that the little good book, it's almost the same in every religion, just with different names. A few little twists here and there, but it's the same story over and over. Even within the Native American culture, we're all spiritual beings. It's not that hard that we all worship the same God. We just call it a different name. It's just easy to understand when you start understanding history. Start really learning history. How conquering nations would either they would kill off all the men, warriors, or they would Alexander the Great was great for this. There was a couple other ones, like Genghis Khan. So one to get people like Genghis Khan did not annihilate, they would bring them in. They become part of it. But Alexander the Great, but he'd still lead them to keep their culture, their beliefs. He didn't change them. And they slowly adapted. And we've seen this throughout history with each new religion that springs up. So no, I'm not going to sit here and argue religion with you because it's pointless. We all worship the same God. I'm not going to sit here and argue the dogma, because the dogma is what actually divides, is the cause of the division amongst all of us. That's what pits us against each other, and they use it. They've been doing it ever since the beginning of time. It's all about control. It's all about power. I think I've given you plenty to think about until I decide to do the next podcast. Which, like I said, I'm looking forward to get back to work tomorrow, back to the 10 to 11 hour days. So I'm going to try to put in a little bit more than that this week, which means probably no podcast. Probably going to take me a week to recover from work after being off a week. Thankfully, I have a fairly easy job, but I'll still feel it within the first 2 days, especially. So I still have an hour commute, which, like I said, I got some choices and decisions to make. So podcast actually might be a little spotty from here until I decide what my next steps are from here. Part of me loves it where I'm at right now. A big part of me loves it where I'm at right now, but there's choices that got to be made, and the irony of life that we learned back in the 90s, growing up as kids, that's when they really started pushing where both parents had to work. It's a fact. It takes two people, especially if you're paying rent. Especially in the winter when, oh God, I do never again will I ever want an electric heater. Gas is way cheaper when it comes to propane, and it doesn't have to be filled up as much. But like my landlord said, there's no way my electric bill should have been that high. So hopefully he can figure out what happened and then get back to what it should be, then I'd be good, actually. But it's still, like I said, I got choices and decisions to make. And I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, we got to take the good with the bad and learn how to make and don't dwell on the positives. Can't keep reflecting on the negatives. And I'm a firm believer everything will work out. And they do. Been proven time and time in my life. As long as I believe that and know it full-heartedly, things will be as it be, and it'll all work out. That's the power. That's the true power of your mind, and true power of faith and conviction and belief. Do you guys realize how much control you actually have, how much power you actually have? How important it is to keep your minds free. The changes that you can make within your life. The stress that you don't have to stress about. The worries that you don't have to worry about. Let me tell you, when you start removing those things, yeah, COVID sucked. This has been the worst I've ever felt. But I haven't been sick. Well, I've been sick a couple times this year, and that's because of the hours. Me not paying attention to my body when my body's saying, enough, chill out, get some rest, you're overdoing it. Well, that wasn't me paying attention. I knew it was screaming it. I was ignoring it because I didn't have a choice. I had to work the hours. And I don't know how to say no a lot of times. Why? Because I enjoy making plans and setting things up, so I needed the money, and I paid for it. But thankfully, I only usually get sick about every couple of years, and it was at that time, but I haven't had COVID again. I had it once. Not vaccinated. Been around plenty of people that have. My sister, fully vaccinated, and at that time it was 3 shots before you had to have the booster. She got it. She got it each time. I had to take her to the hospital to get an infusion, so I was around her. No, didn't catch it. Been around people that caught it at work, that came into work sick as fuck. I'm like, dude, you don't look so great. So, I'll take my facts over their politically incorporated bought facts any day of the week. The proof's in the pudding, and I can't unsee what I've seen, and I can't unlearn what I've experienced firsthand. It tells me that you guys are full of shit. I also know there's plenty of good doctors and good scientists out there that has a different opinion than the ones that are being bought and paid to say what they say. And you cannot argue what a person seen and experienced and went through and been through and goes through every day. That's better than a scientist opening their mouth any day of the week. But there is truth to some what they say. Some people have got low immune systems. Yeah, maybe. It's knowing thyself. Knowing what's good for you. Because I ain't the one that's going to jump right in line for something that's not. We don't even know the consequences. We're starting to see some of them, but that's hearsay. That's being debated. That's being argued between this scientist and that scientist, this doctor and that doctor. You know what I say? Oh, I'm going to follow the money on that one. Oh, these guys ain't getting no funding. Okay. Wow, these guys get huge funding. Yep, I know who to believe. I know who to not listen to. But I also know how to do my research and not listen to what everybody says. You shouldn't. You shouldn't listen to what I say. You should research what I say. You should question everything I say. Don't take everything at face value. Question everything. One, you haven't walked a mile in my shoes. Two, you haven't lived a day in my life. You don't know what I've experienced and been through, went through. Just like I don't know what you've experienced and what you lived through. That's the difference. If we could understand those things and respect those things, they would have a harder time dividing us. What I say is my opinions and my views solely and alone. Whether you agree with them or disagree, that's your choice. But I still say question it. I still tell you to go research it. Why? Because you should. It'll better yourself. It'll free your mind. It'll get you in the habit of questioning everything. I don't have the answers. I don't. No one does. But I tell you what, together, talking about things, debating things, we might find the answer one day to some of these things. Together. If we just allow it and not allow people to tell us, oh, you can't do that. We got to get past our differences. We got to get past all those things we've been taught that divide us, that keeps us from having conversations and philosophical debates on important matters of change and betterment for everybody. Until we're willing to make the change, that change starts at the home, starts with thyself, we're never going to change. We're never going to get the change that we all want. Because with anything, I think the best quote in the Bible, like I said, I've stated this before, I'm not a Christian, but the best, my favorite saying in the Bible, faith without works is dead. If you're not willing to work for it, make a change, and don't expect change to happen. You got to put in the work. You got to have faith in the work that you're doing will come about. It's very spiritual, that saying. It's true. If you don't believe it, if you half-heartedly believe it, you're not willing to put an effort into making it happen, it's never going to happen. If you're not willing to make sacrifices and listen to other people that have different opinions and views, it's never going to happen. Because you're just repeating the same cycle over and over. You're not putting the work that needs to be done. You guys all have a good night. Hope you're all enjoying 2022. Sorry to be a negative influence bummer on your guys' 2022, but hey, somebody has to be that guy. Somebody has to be willing to step outside the echo chamber, step outside the box and say what needs to be said. So I'll be your fucking Huckleberry. Everybody's going back to work tomorrow. Be safe. I will see you on the next one, wherever that may be. You guys all have a good night.